This is a sword I never thought I'd see in person, let alone handle, and to be honest, it has completely surpassed my expectations in both forms training and in cutting applications. So let's talk about this sword. We'll talk about the history, the design, the creation, and of course, the creator, the original designer of this sword, the Immortal Sword Saint himself, Li Jinglin. This is the LK Chen Immortal Wudang Jian, and it is actually one of two offerings under the same name. Now this version, the long sword, is based off of the original design. However, they do offer a shorter, compact version that is closer to modern-day training Jian and based off of an existing antique in LK's collection. I have a separate video about this, so if you want to learn more about the compact version, go ahead and check that one out. The sword is over a meter long, extending to a total length of 108 centimeters and 86 centimeters of that just being the blade itself. It is forged of a high carbon manganese spring steel, which gives it a good amount of flex and spring, and yet keeps a keen edge for cutting. The handle is also somewhat long when compared to contemporary designs, and although it can comfortably fit in two hands, it is meant to be held with a single hand. In Chinese sword design, longer handles were used because there are open and hollow pommels that don't have any weight to act as a counterbalance for the sword, so the handle actually becomes the counterbalance to bring the balance a little bit closer to the guard for better dexterity and control. The handle is wrapped with leather, with an overlapping diamond-shaped style, which I found to be quite comfortable in handling, and it maintained the same level of grip even into long training sessions with sweat and fatigue. It also comes with a lanyard that's inserted through the handle, but I took mine out, and that's just something I have a personal preference for in my own training, so that's why you won't see it in this video. The sword fittings from the pommel to the guard and even the scabbard fittings are all made with cast stainless steel in the simplified and minimalist style that was typical to the Republic era. The scabbard itself is made of magnolia wood and is kept bright and clean with only a glossy lacquered finish. It is light and thin but by no means delicate. Instead, it accentuates the long and slender blade shape that it houses within. This sword is called the Immortal Wudang Jian for a very specific reason. You see, it was designed by Li Jinglin, a master of the Wudang sword style, with skill so good that he was known throughout China as the Immortal Sword Saint. Li Jinglin not only drafted the original design and description for this sword, but allowed the plans to be openly published with his commentary in the book The Major Methods of Wudang Sword. There are even pictures in the book of the original sword. Li Jinglin was a profound martial artist and had studied several martial arts over the course of his youth and continued to pursue them later on into his life. One particular art was the Dan sect of Wudang sword taught to him by Master Zong Weiyi, who was a 9th generation inheritor of Wudang sword. As a young adult, Li Jinglin enrolled into a military academy and upon graduating began his career as a lower-level officer. In 1911, he volunteered to lead a 500-man squad in the battle for Hanyang and earned the Imperial Yellow Jacket for the capture of Turtle Mountain. As the warlord era settled in, Li Jinglin became a prominent general and warlord in the Fengtian clique under the Green Gang. He thrived during this time of corruption and made a number of various allies and enemies. However, it was also during this time that his influence on the world of martial arts grew strong. He refined his teaching approach and the style of Wudang sword. He was also known to happily accept fencing matches and would often goad visiting officers into impromptu sparring sessions. It was during this time that he had earned his nicknames, God of the Sword, China's First Sword, and the Immortal Sword Saint. His style of Wudang sword was based on the 13 techniques, partner drills, and fencing practice. As the art became more refined, he also created solo forms like the 6-road Jian and the 2-person forms like the Duilian Jian. Probably the most important aspect of his martial career in the promotion and the transmission of the Wudang sword style would have to be his involvement in the founding of the Central Guoshu Institute, which, like Jingwu, was a centralized location for many athletic and martial disciplines. Not only did he help recruit masters from all different types of arts, but he was also the originator of the distinction between Shaolin arts and Wudang arts. This is a type of distinction we still see these days between internal and external styles. In fact, many styles today can attribute their sword development to Li Jinglin and his Wudang method. One style, for example, would be Yang style Tai Chi, as Yang Chengfu was also heavily involved in the Guoshu Institute and good friends with Li Jinglin. In fact, Li Jinglin helped Yang Chengfu through the publishing process of his book on Yang Tai Chi Chuan. If you look closely, you can see a lot of parallels between Wudang and Tai Chi Jian, and it goes beyond just the physical forms and routines, but even into the written literature and theory for the sword. Li Jinglin died when he was just 47 years old. Some say due to illness, others say that he was poisoned by his political enemies. Either way, he had left quite a legacy behind, not only in the promotion and transmission of Wudang Jian, but in the many martial arts and artists that he met over the years. Now, there was another martial artist that trained under Song Wei-yi and was a sword brother to Li Jinglin. Although he didn't receive the same level of martial infamy as Li Jinglin did, he still contributed quite a bit to the art of Wudang sword. He even created 3 forms for solo practice and training. These were the Shisan Yinyang Jian, the Zhenju Gengpan Jian, and the Yulong Jian. And they really embody the essence of Wudang sword. Or, as Li Jinglin poetically wrote, "The essence of practicing the sword lies in moving your body like a swimming dragon, never coming to a halt. After practicing for a long time, your body will fuse with your sword. Then your sword will merge with your spirit. There will be no sword anywhere, and everywhere there will be a sword. When you are able to understand this principle, you are almost there." So, what can you expect if you pick up this sword for yourself? Well, first and foremost, this sword is long. Really long. This sword is the same length as a Han Jian, and you really see it when compared to a modern training Jian. This is something you will need to calibrate so you don't accidentally contact the ground or your surroundings in training and practice. It is also that length that makes the weight of this sword a little bit more apparent, but just at the end of the cut. Otherwise, the sword moves very agile and nimble, and it feels extremely natural when going through the Wudang sword training and techniques that it was designed for. The sword is an excellent cutter. Not only does it have a razor-sharp edge, but the length, weight, and mass distribution develop a lot of momentum for cutting power. The lenticular cross-section makes for a smooth cut once it's in the target, and the flexible, springy blade is very forgiving with any partial or miscuts. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, there are actually 2 Immortal Wudang swords offered by LK Chen. The long Jian that we've been looking at in this video, as well as the compact Immortal Wudang Jian, which beyond just the blade length, there are a few things that are made different. With a blade length of 76 centimeters, the compact Immortal Wudang Jian is a deluxe edition, which is forged of a 1065 carbon steel and T9 tungsten vanadium blend that can be seen in the pattern weld. The handle has a black ray skin wrap beneath the diamond wrapped leather, and the scabbard has a red dyed and polished faux ray skin wrap. The cost difference between the two is only $45, so it allows you a little more leverage in choosing the right version for you and your sword goals. I have another video in which I look specifically at the compact sword as well as the Dan Pai methods of Wudang sword, which I'll leave a link to down below. In conclusion, this is another fine sword made by LK Chen. It functions as an excellent cutter and for forms training in the same, especially when it comes to the Wudang sword techniques and training. I mean, What else would you expect when the sword is designed by the Immortal Sword Saint himself? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I will be leaving links down below to LK Chen's website so you can learn more about this sword, as well as Chinese martial studies. There's a wealth of information over there and articles about Li Jinglin himself, and a link to the book so you can pick that up if you are interested. Otherwise, let me know what you think about this sword. Leave it in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.